Hot, humid, and windy. Prime conditions for an emerging slugger to show his Ruthian strength against his former team. And for a young player with some pop to prove he belongs here too. Opportunities abound at the corner of Clark and Addison, even for a young hurler making his Wrigley debut. Well, throughout this homestand, the Cubs are celebrating the 70s, but in terms of the weather over the last 24 hours, we've gone from the 90s to the 60s. The wind has turned around, and it's the Padres and the Cubs game 2 of a 3-game series. Great to have you with us, along with Jim DeShays. I'm Len Casper. Wind blowing out last night, not the case tonight. The Cubs with a 6-0 victory. We continue to talk about Anthony Rizzo every night, and he deserves it.
Yeah, Kyle Hendricks, the starting pitcher, 7 shutout, really good last night. Alcantara went deep, but Rizzo continues to be the story. Homering twice in the ballgame last night. That's the second time he's done that in the last 4 games. He's on a pace to hit 41. If he hits 40, he will become just the 10th player in Cubs history to do that.
And Anthony staying hot since the All-Star game. 5 home runs now among 7 hits, and even his outs have been pretty loud.
Yeah, indeed. An OPS close to 2,000 over those last 4 games. You see, since the All-Star break last year, only Stanton has hit more home runs than Anthony Rizzo.
So Hendricks with a win in his second big league start. Tsuyoshi Wada, a left-hander, will try to do the same in his Wrigley debut tonight.
Yeah, interesting to see what Wada brings to the table. Really good down in AAA. He was good in his 1 start for the Cubs so far back in Cincinnati.
And veteran right-hander Ian Kennedy will go for the visitors tonight. Well, last night it was Kyle Hendricks getting the win in his Wrigley Field debut. And again, Tsuyoshi Wada's second major league start will pitch in the friendly confines for the first time. Next.
Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, through it all. AT&T Uverse. Find out what's possible with AT&T. Call 1-800-PIC-ATT. Mobilizing your world. Ford. Check out America's freshest lineup at your local Ford store or at localfordstores.com. And by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com.
Great statue of Ron Santo as fans head into the ballpark tonight. And the Padres Southwest starting lineup. Chris DeNorfia is going to play center and lead off tonight. Yangervis Solarte making his Padres debut. He's going to be at second base. Carlos Quentin is in left. Tommy Medica, the first baseman, will clean up. Jeff Francoeur making his Padre debut. He's up and playing in right field, Chris Nelson at third, Rene Rivera the catcher, Alexi Amarista the shortstop, and Ian Kennedy the pitcher.
Who's where for the Cubs tonight? Brought to you by Kia. Outfield alignment of Coughlin, Alcantara, and Nate Scherholtz, who has not had many starts lately, gets one tonight. Infield goes Valbuena Castro, Bonifacio Rizzo around the horn, and Wellington Castillo behind the plate. Our Lexus starting pitcher for the Cubs tonight, Tsuyoshi Wada. Left-hander made his major league debut July 8th against the Reds. Worked 5 innings, allowed 5 hits, a run. 1 walk, struck out 3. 10-6 with a 2.77 ERA at AAA Iowa. Longtime veteran of professional baseball in Japan.
Yeah, he's not a kid. He's 33. As we check out the umpires, Todd Tichenor calls balls and strikes. The crew chief is Ron Culpa at first. Hopefully no mea culpas tonight. Ed Hickox at second and Pat Hoberg over at third.
Just depends if he has culpability or not.
Ooh.
What Wada has is an assortment of pitches, not unlike the starters we saw last night. Stoltz for the Padres, Hendricks for the Cubs. Finesse style pitcher, lefty who sits around 89, 90 miles an hour with the fastball. He's got a real good changeup, kind of a hybrid split fork kind of pitch, fork ball. Throw a slider and a curveball as well.
Little bit low on Denorfia. 2 balls, no strikes. We were at nearly 90 degrees at game time last night. 62 with a north wind at 16 tonight. Light jacket weather.
Right, and the difference in the feels like. I mean, 90 and with the humidity here last night, it was swamp-like. Nasty, and now we got this jacket weather. Throw up the hoodie.
The 3-0 and a 4-pitch walk to start it.
On the plate, but apparently a little bit low. Wada's going to have to reset the sights a little bit. See on our pitch tracks, number 2 could have been, number 4 was indeed low. At AAA, Wada issued only 28 free passes in 113 2/3 innings.
Yangervis Solarte, we saw him earlier this year with the Yankees. And he takes a strike, acquired yesterday from New York in the Chase Headley trade. Headley with a game-ending RBI single in the 14th in his Yankee debut. Hugs and high fives from probably a lot of guys he hadn't even met. And right field in trouble. That ball is going to go into the corner, chased down by Scherholtz. Denorfia around third, he'll score. The throw to third is late. Solarte in his first at bat with the Padres with an RBI triple, and it's 1-0, their first run of the series.
I guess it's only fair, right? Headley got the game-winning hit for the Yankees last night in a long extra inning ball game. Solarte delivers here. Boy, he got off to a great start for the Yankees. April and May he was really good, then fell into a deep funk in June and July. Like Bonifacio was going to have a shot at him, but kind of fell out of that throw over to third base. You know, a lot of base runners right about here, like they run into a pile of mud, really slow down, trying to go from second to third.
Infield back against Carlos Quentin. And he sends one in the air to right. Plenty deep enough as Solarte tags and will score standing, and 3 batters in. It's 2-0.
We start over. Want to get a mulligan? Padre team was shut out last night. The worst offensive team in Major League Baseball by far this year, and they're off to a good start after the leadoff walk. And boy, just the approach by Quentin, a veteran RBI guy, saw a pitch that he could get airborne, took advantage of it.
Now Tommy Medica playing first base. He's been battling a strained groin. This is his first start in nearly 2 weeks. And ball 1 from Tsuyoshi Wada. Cubs got quality and quantity out of rookie Kyle Hendricks last night. He was gassed, completely spent. Didn't throw a lot of pitches, but as you mentioned, it was really hot and humid. The conditions were, if not unbearable, very difficult for a starting pitcher. And he got through 7 shutout frames, called it the greatest day of his life. He got his first major league win. Fouled back, 2-1.
Yeah, I think on a night like last night, you've got a guy making a second major league start under those conditions. I don't care what lineup you're facing. If you're Rick Renteria and somebody offers you, hey, this kid's going to get you into the 6th and hold the other club down reasonably well, you'd say, I'll take that. To get 7 shutout, just outstanding.
Swing and a miss. And it's 2-2.
Hot, humid, wind blowing out. None of that adversely affecting Kyle Hendricks. 7 innings, 5 hits, no runs. Punched out 5, 83 pitches. Cubs turned 4 double plays in the ball game last night.
Broken bat, foul. The bat ending up almost in the Cubs bullpen. It hit the brick barrier just beyond third and bounced all the way to the home plate area of the bullpen.
Ball was moving in on his thumbs. He's not left with much. That piece right there make a nice lamp.
Just need the shade. Got the stem. Two. Loaded down the right field line, about a foot foul, just foul.
Talked about Watta's good work down at Iowa. There are the numbers: 10-6, 277. The ERA, just 28 free passes, 120 strikeouts. Not overpowering, but deceptive. A good off-speed pitch, stuff that will play obviously a lot better against minor league hitters than big league hitters. So it'd be very difficult for Watta to duplicate what he did down there, but he was really good in his start in Cincinnati.
Swing and a miss on a pitch in the dirt. Looked like that fork ball as Medica strikes out.
There you see a little bit that kind of split finger grip.
So 2 down, and it's Jeff Francoeur, veteran outfielder. 9 years of big league time and a cut and a miss. Selected today from AAA El Paso, replacing Cameron Maben on their active roster. Maben suspended by Major League Baseball for 25 games after a positive test for an amphetamine. So the Padres roster changing just about every day, like the Cubs roster, as Francoeur flies to deep center. Alcantara with the catch. Padres get 2, and the Cubs are coming up. Beverage Depot will donate $100 to JDRF. And Emilio Bonifacio has been very kind to Benny's and JDRF throughout the year. The Cubs Southwest starting lineup. Bonifacio 2 hits back from the DL last night. Alcantara found Sheffield with his home run. Rizzo hit 2. Castro will clean up. Chris Coughlin's in left. Luis Valbuena man's third. Nate Scherholtz in right. And the battery, Castillo the catcher, Wada the pitcher.
Key defense for the Padres tonight. A lot of moving pieces for Bud Black's group. Tonight it looks this way. Quentin's in left field. Denorfia in center. Jeff Rancourt gets a start in right. Left side of the infield remains the same. Nelson and Amarista, but a different look on the right side with Solardi and Medica. Rene Rivera, the veteran backstop, behind the plate. And Alexis starting pitcher for the Padres tonight, 29-year-old right-hander Ian Kennedy, 7-9 with a .362 earned run average.
But a strikeout machine. He's third in the league with those 137 punch-outs. Velocity up a little bit. That one at 90, but he's been getting it up to 93 to 95 this year.
Typically sit right around 92 miles an hour. Curve change and a cutter.
1-1 on Bonifacio. Missed 33 games on the DL with a strained oblique. 2 for 5 with a double and a run last night. And he fouls off.
Kennedy beat the Cubs back on May 25th. Worked 6 innings of 1-run baseball. You see where Kennedy ranks among the National League strikeout leaders, trailing just Strasburg and Cueto, just ahead of Bumgarner and Kershaw.
Lifted down the left field line and out of play. Cubs shutting out the Padres 6-0 last night, but trailing early here tonight. Conditions much different. Francoeur really put a charge into that fly ball to center. Last night that would have been an easy home run. Not tonight. Kennedy into his motion. And that is lifted to left. Where Quentin will put 2 hands on it. 1 away.
So Quinn isn't going to do any favors tonight as a hitter. Better get on top, hit it on a line. Alcantara could hit it on the ground and use his speed. He hit a bomb here last night.
Kennedy's first pitch, top of the zone for a strike. It's interesting, people who didn't see him in the minors or in spring training or haven't looked at his career numbers, surprised by his power, but it's been there. Certainly doubles and triples, but he can hit the ball out of the ballpark. Hit 15 last year to Double-A Tennessee, but had 36 doubles.
Hey, he's the kind of guy, when you talk to baseball people, they'll say he's got a lot of life in his body. Explosive first step, ball jumps off his bat. Got that quick twitch muscle fiber working for him.
One, 2 is inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Rizzo on deck. So Kennedy obviously wants to get the guy in front of him, considering how hot Anthony has been. Swing and a miss. He does get him on a curveball.
First baseman, number 44, Anthony Rizzo.
Well, the former Padre with a lot of damage done last night. Once a month, Anthony heads down to Lurie Children's Hospital to visit patients there, and he met a interesting guy last night as he sends this one down the line, but that wind just pushing everything in that direction. Another ball that would have been gone last night. So last night he hit 2 home runs. Mike Casales, 22 years old, got some bad news lately, but he and Anthony really bonded. He said, "Hey, hit a home run for me." And Anthony said, "When I hit a home run for you, I'm going to give you a little gesture at home plate," which he does not normally do. So that right there last night was for Mike, and he did it twice. And today is Mike's 22nd birthday, so happy birthday, Mike. They texted back and forth today, and what a touching story. And Mike, hang in there.
Mike recently diagnosed with leukemia, and obviously that's what Anthony Rizzo dealt with, so draw some inspiration from his story.
Yeah, great to know that Anthony not only wants to give back his charity events. There's a base hit through the shift, but also those visits are really, really important to lift the spirits of young cancer patients. So here's Castro with 2 outs and a man on. Walk, double, and a run last night for Castro. He has started every game this year. It's one hard diving stop. Chris Nelson from his knees, and they get the out at second to end the inning. Big night for Rizzo last night. Did it for a friend. 2-0 Padres.
Another busy day for the team. Lots of moves. Of course, tonight's starter, Tsuyoshi Wada, was recalled, and in a corresponding move, third baseman Mike Olt headed to AAA Iowa. Also 2 promotions. Jorge Soler at AAA Iowa promoted, along with Albert Almora, who's headed to AA Tennessee. And Theo Epstein stopped, talked to the media about a lot of these guys this afternoon. And Jorge Soler, one of the ones he's very excited about, of course, struggled with hamstring injury through much of the start of the season, but said when he was healthy, came to him and said, "Now is my time," and has certainly been on a tear. Guys hitting .410 in 28 games, and in the last 2 weeks, 6 homers. But this is a guy I think a lot of fans, including you guys, I'm sure, would love to see here maybe in September.
Thanks, Kelly. I think that's a definite possibility. He is on the 40-man roster, and you've heard Patrick Mooney, our Cubs insider, tell us that he's hearing that there's a pretty good chance Soler will be a call up after September 1st as well. Foul strike on Chris Nelson. Nice glove work by Nelson to end the bottom of the first.
He made a dazzling play in the ball game last night as well.
He bounces to Castro, who charges, and in front of second. Not a great throw, but Rizzo able to keep his toe on the base.
Flipping that one off the wrong foot, little off balance throw up the line. Rizzo able to hang on.
A little more time than he thought. He made it appear, but they got the out. Here's Rivera, Rene Rivera, the catcher, pinch hit in the 9th inning last night, struck out to end the game.
Yeah, Theo was asked specifically about Soler, whether he would be up in September or not, and he wouldn't address any of those guys individually, but he did make the point that it's easier to call a guy up if he's on the 40-man roster, or if he's at that stage in his career where he would have to be protected and added to the 40-man roster in the following winter. Soler obviously having signed a major league contracts on the 40-man roster, so you don't have those roster considerations that you might have if you, say, added Baez to the team. Baez is not on the 40-man roster yet, does not need to be added to the 40-man roster because of his lack of service time in the minor leagues.
Fly to right. Sherholtz on the spot. 2 down. Wada had trouble settling in early, and the Padres ambushed him for 2 quick ones, but he has now sent down 5 in a row. Alexi Amarista filling in at short for the DL'd Everth Cabrera. Mike Olt sent down to Iowa. He's going to play some first base, DH as well. He just needs to get some at bats. The 1-0 outside, 2-0 on Amarista. Kennedy, the pitcher, is on deck. Now Buena plays even with a bag and well off the line at third. And on the outside corner for a strike. Hands over his head, the leg kick, the pitch, fastball blew it by him at 90.
Marista a little late to the party there with that swing.
Wada came over from Japan and signed with Baltimore prior to 2012, but he never got to the big leagues. He had Tommy John surgery in May of that year. You mentioned had a long career in Japan. It's going to stay fair, and Rizzo will step on the bag. Wada goes 1-2-3 in the second after an inning and a half. It's the Padres 2 and the Cubs nothing. There's one more matchup with the Padres tomorrow, followed by 3 with the Cardinals over the weekend, and then the Rockies come in starting Monday night. Make sure to visit WrigleyField100.com for all the planned 70s festivities. For tickets, Cubs.com. Cubs will wear their throwback road uniforms from 1978 on Sunday afternoon. That'll be fun. Baby blues with the white pinstripes. There's Chris Coghlan. He's an outfielder now, but he actually started out as an infielder in the Florida Marlins chain as he fouls out of play. Wind's going to help him here. Give him another opportunity. He does take ground balls during batting practice, but it's possible, JD, we could see him at third base now with the reconfigured infield and no Darwin Barney around, no Mike Olt.
As well as he's been swinging the bat, if you can find another spot to get him some ABs, might be worth taking a look. He played a little bit of third base last year for the Marlins. He was forced off the second base position in that Marlin organization because they had Dan Uggla, and then they had Miguel Cabrera at third, so that wasn't going to be an option.
1-2. I think the other thing, with the extra pitcher in the bullpen, that added versatility is huge. Obviously, Junior Lake in a pinch could play third. Prefer to keep him in the outfield. Nelson got near that barrier, came up a little short.
Edward's going to get flagged for holding. Yep, had a little more room than he realized. Coghlan stays alive.
It's the one thing about when the wind blows in, and we've mentioned this before, it generally helps the pitcher keep the ball in the ballpark, but foul balls behind the plate are generally pushed back to the seats as Coghlan strikes out. It's number 2 for Kennedy.
Good life on that elevated fastball. A rider up above the hands at 92 miles an hour. I'm talking with esteemed analyst Mark Grant about Ian Kennedy over dinner tonight. He said that Kennedy's added this little coil he does in his delivery, something he's added. A little turn when he gets to the top, keeps his weight back, allows him to extend and get a little something extra on that heater.
There's Mudd basking in the glow of the 7th inning stretch rendition last night.
Put down your cheat sheet. Pay attention to the ball game. See that little coil at the top. Just that little turn.
Swing and a miss to make it 0-2.
Reminiscent of a lot of guys, but I think of Jeff Samardzija. Jeff had that little turn to help keep the weight back, make sure you don't fly open, drift down the mound too early.
Pounded on the ground. 93-mile-an-hour sinker, 2 away.
Yeah, well, Kennedy obviously a good one. 21-game winner a couple years back. And there's that little turn and go. Been pitching well lately, not so much last time out, but overall of late, really good. 2-0 with a 2.08 in the month of July in 4 starts. Last time he got a no decision, allowed 4 runs in 5 innings against the Mets. Previous 3 starts, 2 runs total.
Sherholt snapped an 0 for 19 with a pinch hit single late last night. There's been a lot of talk about the Padres around baseball. They've made some deals. Recently, Houston Street, Chase Headley have been sent packing, but not by a permanent general manager. They've got a lot of guys in their front office kind of running things right now. And there's a lot of question marks about whether they'll make more deals before they hire their new permanent GM. More on that a little later. Kennedy with an early 2-0 lead. Five, and the first 10,000 fans get a Cubs t-shirt presented by StubHub. For tickets, it's Cubs.com. I like that shirt. An old school secondary logo on the front.
Bet you can get your hands on one.
I'll try. One of the first 10,000 in the ballpark.
Yeah, one of the first here.
Kennedy will lead it off. Wada working from the third base side of the rubber, and a strike called. Kennedy hitting 125 with a home run. Strike two.
Looks like a hitter up there. Some guys stand in there, they got no chance.
Kennedy's homer was off Jacob Turner on May 8th. On a 2-0 pitch. Bounced way out in front of home plate.
Treating him like he's got a fighting chance. Throw him the change up there on 1 and 2. He'll get a fastball here, I would think. Don't want to run the count full. That's when you tend to get a little yippy.
Strike three call. Fastball got him.
After that rough start, Wada's been good. Retired 7 in a row. Denorfia, one of those guys there have been some speculation about he possibly being moved along. Good spare part, extra man in the outfield. Always been good against left-handed pitching.
In there on Denorfia. Great to have John Slobotkin in town here at the ballpark tonight. the East Coast, Vice President, Executive Producer of Live Events, NBC Sports Regional Networks. Always great to see John. 0-2. Another foul. So back to the Padres. You know, the question is, how much activity is really appropriate before you hire the person who ultimately will make the big moves? And Ian Kennedy's name has come up. Joaquin Benoit. You empty the veteran cupboard. And then 3 days later say, here's our new general manager.
Yeah, well, there's two ways to think about it, right? One, that might be the way to do it because you take the new general manager off the hook. You know, we're the bad guys. We're the ones that have made all these deals. Now it's on this guy to start building up the new look San Diego Padres. Or you could wait and, you know, hire somebody and say, okay, you set the course for the future. The problem is they're running out of time. The trade deadline's right around the corner. And the last thing I read was that they thought they would have a permanent GM, as permanent as one could be, in place in early August. So my sense is they're going to go ahead, continue as they have been.
Yeah, they're conducting second interviews, I guess, this week. Kim Ang still in the mix. As Denorfia heads down to first after a walk. So he's been on twice via the free pass.
Now Kim, she works for MLB now, correct?
I believe.
Formerly was in the front office with the Dodgers
and the White Sox way back. Solarte tripled home. Denorfia has a good lead. They're back in the first, and Wada will check on him.
Denorfia has stolen 7 bases this year. He's been caught once.
I would have told the story when the Yankees were here earlier, but I was talking to Solarte today. His unique first name, Jan Hervies, is a combination of both his parents' first names. His father's name is Hervies. His mother's name starts with Y-A-N, so they combined them. So I'm not going to look it up. There's a blooper. Bonifacio can't get to it, neither can Scherholtz, and a base hit. I don't think I have to look it up. I'm guessing I could pretty much say it with confidence. He's the first Jan Hervies in Major League history. And he's also 2 for 2 with the Padres. He got off to a big start with the Yanks, but ended up in the minor leagues for about a week before coming back earlier this month.
So that's kind of fun. Have you played the game then with your name to see what your name would be if you had your parents taken that approach? I would be Herbila.
I like it.
Or Albertila.
I would be Sherjo.
Hey,
I can just be one name. That's a good one. You know, we're talking about Prince and Sting. It'd be Sherjo.
Here comes Sherjo.
Yeah, Quentin has done a lot of damage against the Cubs. He did not even start in that 4-game series in May because of a groin issue. 2 pinch hit appearances. He had a 2-run homer in the first one, and then had the game-winning RBI hit in the series finale. The 0-1 hit on the ground toward third, and it's foul.
He too suffering from the virus that has passed through the Padres clubhouse this year, that being the you can't hit a lick virus, hitting just 176 this year with 4 long ones. He's obviously dealt with injuries, but this is a guy who's been a very productive hitter for a good while in the big leagues now.
Oh, 2. It's high, 1-2.
Double play is a big part of the story last night for the Cubs. Clinton, a candidate, if he hits it on the ground, doesn't run well. Well, that doesn't really sink his fastball. He looks to me to be more of a fly ball type pitcher than a ground ball guy. Saw him a little bit in spring training. Got really roughed up in its start against the Mets in Las Vegas.
Two. One look at second. Now the pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him. So how about Chase Headley? Struck out as a pinch hitter in his Yankee debut, but stayed in, played third. And in the 14th inning, he won the game, beating the Rangers 2-1.
Toast of the town. For one day, anyway.
Yeah, he got more press probably for that hit in New York than he got his entire Padres career, just because of market difference. San Diego's a great baseball town. Obviously, they've got a nice downtown ballpark. Been there since 1969. They started up at old Jack Murphy Stadium. Great fans, but it's a small town, a small TV market, and really, aside from Tony Gwynn, the '84 team, the '98 team, they have played in relative obscurity in terms of the rest of baseball. It's just kind of the way it is.
Yeah.
And when you're with the Yankees,
yeah, it's a different,
it's the opposite.
Different animal.
I mean, if Derek Jeter had the same exact career he's had with the Yankees, but with the Padres, minus all the playoff appearances, it'd be a little different. Barehanded play, Valbuena, nicely done, and that will end the inning. He gets Medica, and the Padres strand a couple. 2-0, they lead in the third. Tonight's broadcast brought to you by AT&T. Cool night at the ballpark. Cubs trailing 2-0, but still early. The Cubs will bat here in the bottom of the third inning. By the way, I'm taking nothing away from Derek Jeter's amazing career. I'm just talking more about TV markets. I was thinking during the break, if Edgar Martinez had been a Yankee and not a Mariner, he'd be in the Hall of Fame, wouldn't he?
Probably, yeah. Yeah.
But why does that matter?
Shouldn't. Some would argue because it's the Hall of Fame and players that play in New York or bigger media markets that are more postseasons are more famous. But I think you and I both agree it should be a Hall of Achievement and it should honor the best guys, not the most famous guys.
Strike 2 1. Speaking of Seattle, Bartolo Colon went into the 7th today for the Mets with a perfect game. Mets won the game. He gave up a hit to Robinson Cano in that 7th inning. 3-2 the final.
Did he go the distance?
He got the win. He did not finish the game. I love when Colon gave up the hit. He politely applauded as the fans were doing the same. 7 outs away from a perfect game.
Just keeps on going. Bartolo Colon,
41 years old.
40, 41. 197 career wins now for the big guy. 9-8 this year with a 4.03. Could be on the move. You might want to add his veteran arm to their rotation for a little playoff run.
Wada got down the line pretty quickly, but a nice defensive play made by Solarte. Padres have played good D behind Kennedy tonight. Well, it's a land of opportunity. They've got all these injuries on their infield. Headley traded. Cabrera, Jerko, Alonso all on the DL. There's the switch hitting Bonifacio with 2 outs.
Yeah, there are going to be a lot of agents of minor league free agents and veteran players who have been banged up this year looking to bounce back next year, calling the Padres looking for work. The Padres are going to be willing to think about a lot of changes, you would have to think, given what's happened this year.
So that they're kind of the anti-Rockies, right? I mean, with their ballpark, you should be able to bring in 3s and 4s and have them pitch like 1s and 2s. But they can't seem to score runs.
Right, so if you're a free agent pitcher, you know you can go there and put up decent numbers in terms of earned run average, but you might not win much.
Just missed. Kennedy thought it was a strike.
Two-seam runner coming back for the inside corner, didn't quite work its way back.
Just a year ago, and Kennedy was traded to the Padres. They were adding. Got him from Arizona. July 31st. For Thatcher, left-hander, and minor league right-hander at the time, Matt Stites, went the other way. Here's a pitch outside.
Well, I would think there's a lot of eyeballs on this start tonight. A lot of clubs would have interest in Ian Kennedy and probably bring back a couple of really nice prospects for the Padres. He's due to be a free agent at the end of the year.
Is 2-2, a swing and a miss for strike 3. He has been really good early on. He's given up just 1 hit and leads 2-0.
Wada trying to follow up on a very impressive outing from Kyle Hendricks, 7 scoreless innings, and just raved about the game plan he and Wellington Castillo had put together. So today I follow up with Welly about the game plan he was putting together with Wada, who also making his Wrigley debut tonight. And he said there were a couple challenges. One, of course, being the fact that you never know what the weather's going to be like. And tonight, very different. The navigation of the Padres lineup, very different for Wada this evening. But also the fact that he doesn't speak a lot of English, guys. So during film, as they went through everything, he had a translator in there. And Welly said the good thing is, though, the baseball language is always the same. So tonight, quickly getting on the same page as we see here. Following that first inning, he's looked pretty good.
He has, and he faces Jeff Francoeur, who flying to deep center in his first at bat. Thank you, Kelly. Well, most baseball fans know about Jeff Francoeur. Over 1,200 big league games, cannon for an arm. In the outfield, won a Gold Glove back in 07. He has made a name for himself as the victim of a couple of AAA pranks by his teammates in El Paso this year. And a recent one just went up on Deadspin. The first one, did you see the bit where
no,
his teammate, a pitcher named Jorge Reyes, every time he was around Francoeur, he pretended as if he couldn't hear him, that he was deaf, and all of the teammates played along for a long time.
I did not. No, I did not see that.
That was number 1. And then number 2, they locked him in the coach's room, the coach's room's restroom recently. He said he spent 45 minutes in there and eventually escaped through the ceiling.
Like kind of like MacGyver?
Yeah, right. I was thinking more like Breakfast Club. It was an opposite field base hit. But Francoeur, always a good sport. Able to laugh at himself. And you got to pick the right guys when you do the elaborate pranks.
Yes,
right? Because some guys don't necessarily take it. They can dish it out, but they can't take it. And you don't want to take it too far.
Well, that's a great way for a guy like Francoeur, who's got a lot of big league time, to endear himself to his minor league teammates, to go down there and allow himself to be the brunt of the joke.
1-0 on Nelson.
Years ago in spring training, when I was playing with the Astros, we were out stretching one morning, and the night before, Alan Ashby had picked up a tab. He was in a restaurant eating, I think, with his wife, and there was a group of guys across the room in another restaurant. So Ash picked up the tab for the 4 or 5 guys that were having dinner over there and quietly left the restaurant. So the next day during stretching, Phil Garner, it might have been Nolan Ryan, Terry Poole, some of these veteran guys who were stretching and talking, and they started talking about how good the meal was, and then they started talking about how they divvied up the tab amongst themselves, and it was good to do it that way instead of one guy having to pick it up. And immediately Ash's ears prick up, and nobody lets on, nobody says a word, and they just kind of watch and watch. As soon as the workout was over, Ash jumped in his car and boom, steamed down the road to the restaurant.
That one drilled out toward the alley, and it's going to get to the wall. Francoeur running hard around third. Glenn Hoffman's going to send him. The throw to the plate is not in time. Chris Nelson with a run-scoring double. And it's 3-0.
Nelson having a nice night. He made a very nice play in the field. Now takes his pitch the other way into the alley in right center. Pretty easy read there for Francoeur. So it's a nice jump, comes all the way around to score. Looked again like the changeup. This time it just doesn't have much action. Stays up a little bit, about mid-thigh for Nelson. For kind of running and monitoring, and then turns on the jets.
Back-to-back hits to start this inning. Rivera takes a curve for ball 1. Well, in terms of practical jokers, you know, one of the best ever is Greg Maddux. Everybody thought of him as the professor on the mound, but off the mound, off the field, in the clubhouse, he was a teenager. Saw his interview with Barry Rosner in the Daily Herald today. The secret was for him, he said, just have fun. Do the work you need to do. It's fun. It's baseball. Take himself very seriously. As Castillo with a nice catch. Battling the elements with the wind tonight.
Not an easy chance at all. One peek to find the wall, and then he loses the ball. Has to come back the other way. It's just a little late adjustment by Castillo. Nice play. Yeah, you got to have a little boy in you to play this game. Right. Take the game seriously. Don't take yourself seriously. Hang on.
As I was reading the article, I knew what was coming at the end. He said, and I get to play golf on Saturday, so I'm good. Talking about the Hall of Fame weekend.
Mm-hmm.
You can find 4 hours for Greg to go out and play golf. He's a happy man. In fact, I would claim that if, for whatever reason, MLB, contractually had banned golf during the season, that Maddux, Smoltz, probably even Glavine too, they all would have quit probably.
Any number of guys.
5 years into their career.
A lot of guys would have shut it down.
They lived for it. And they earned it.
And they had a putting green in the clubhouse in Atlanta.
Well, that's the thing, you probably could ask Greg, and next time we see him, we can ask him. Did you ever think about pitching in the bullpen? He probably would have said no, because I wanted to play golf.
I had those golf days, yeah.
Glavine Got his 300th win with the Mets in this ballpark.
But I would imagine Greg would also tell you that he could handle a round of golf and an inning out of the bullpen on any given night and be just fine.
If push came to shove, I would say yes.
Roger Clemens, at an advanced age, late 30s, maybe 40, from pitching in Houston, caddied for his wife in a tournament, dragged her bag around a golf course in Houston, came to the ballpark and pitched like 7 innings of shutout baseball.
Wow. Throw goes to third. Safe. Nelson got in head first. I think Ricky's going to come out and they'll take a look at it back in the video room.
And not seeing an argument from Valbuena. And Valbuena, usually one who always presses his case.
Safe.
Yeah, good call.
The fielder's choice for Amarista.
I think Nelson took an unwise gamble there, but got away with it.
So no argument from the former Padres coach turned Cubs manager Ricky Renteria. Here comes a pitcher, Kennedy. We'll probably try to lay down a safety squeeze bunt with runners at the corners. Did you play a lot of golf when you were
not a lot. Not a lot. I didn't really take up the game until I got into the big leagues. My teammates used to give me like 4 strokes a hole. That's how bad I was.
The pitch. There's the bunt. Here comes Nelson. The flip. Out at the plate. Nelson tagged by Castillo. Nice play by Wada.
Yeah, under control. That's a play where you're going to see a lot of pitchers panic and overplay that ball. But Wada under control. Nice flip with the glove to Castillo to record the out. Not a whole lot lost here for the Cubs. Amarista, or the Padres rather. Amarista moves into scoring position. A nice little shovel. Good concentration by Castillo. Applies the tag. Easy call. Nice play. Missed him at third. Got him at home, where it really counts.
Denorfia has walked both times. He's a career .352 batter in this ballpark. 18 games at Wrigley. Strike called.
Thing that Wada and Castillo have to remember is to do the other going in. You have to do your work inside. When you deliver that off-speed pitch away, you make sure you force the hitter to respect both sides of the plate.
Tigers beat the Diamondbacks today behind Anibal Sanchez 11-5 the final. Tapped foul. So they take 2 of 3 in that series. First 2 games were 1-run affairs.
See where Ryan Zimmerman's back on the DL.
Saw that. Hamstring, correct?
Missed 44 games earlier with a fractured right thumb.
He got hurt running down the first base line last night in Denver. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Coming up second in the bottom of the fourth, the National League home run leader, Anthony Rizzo. 2-0 Pods, 3-0 Pods.
Guard currently serving with Company B, 935th Aviation Support Battalion. 10 years of service. Sergeant Memon has completed 2 successful combat deployments to Kuwait in support of Operations Iraqi Freedom and Enduring Freedom. He is currently the Director of Public Affairs for the Supporting All Veterans Equally Foundation. Congratulations, Jason. Thank you for your service and welcome. Tonight after Cubs postgame live, don't miss Sportsnet Central, presented by GMC. Talk about the Bears. Cutler speaks with the media. Taj Gibson about his future with the Bulls. All of that and more on Sportsnet Central tonight after Cubs postgame live, only on Comcast Sportsnet.
We should note, coming up in a few innings, my partner, solo. Well, with Gary Pressey and 35,000 others, will sing the 7th inning stretch tonight. Looking forward to that.
I just hope Gary's in fine form.
Oh, I'm not worried about Gary.
I don't want to leave him hanging.
1 strike on Alcantara, the rookie. Back to the pitcher, Kennedy, for the out. And the guy with the only Cub hit tonight, Anthony Rizzo.
Kennedy is in cruise control. He is 4-2 in his career against the Cubs with a high ERA, 5.80. And similar story here at Wrigley, 2-1 in 3 starts, but an ERA of 6.3 here at Wrigley Field. Obviously, that's coming down here tonight. He was good against the Cubs back in San Diego in May and pitched well against the Cubs here last year. Got the 1-3-1 zone trap on.
And he's from Southern California, Huntington Beach, went to USC. Best year was 2011, 21-4. With a 288, and was good enough for 4th in the Cy Young voting. Kershaw, Halliday, and Lee finished ahead of him.
And justifiably so, too, right? I mean, they had so many good years that year. Rizzo's wearing everybody out. Right-handers, left-handers, power guys, finesse guys, covering everything at home plate. Right up on top of the plate. Done a lot of damage on breaking pitches. You try to sneak that fastball in on him, and he's been quick enough to hit that pitch with authority as well. Really presenting a big-time headache for National League pitchers right now.
3-1. Yeah, Kershaw had a 228 that year, 21-5. Halliday 235, Lee 240. They all had a better earned run average than did Kennedy. And he walked him.
Three-run lead, wind blowing in, still didn't want to challenge. Look, it's a food selfie.
Now the Bay of Pigs matchup, Kennedy and Castro. You can have way too much fun with Kennedy pitching against various teams. Any sort of presidential surname.
Did we have Kennedy and Jackson earlier this year? We had some kind of a presidential matchup earlier this year.
Foul tip on a home run cut. It's 0-2. Medica holds on Rizzo. 3-0 San Diego. Cubs shut them out last night 6-0.
Cubs hitters will go from the fire to the frying pan tomorrow. Tyson Ross, an all-star this year for the Padres, will pitch in the series finale tomorrow. He's got a 2.70 ERA.
Short lead by Rizzo. Here's the pitch. 2-2.
Edwin Jackson goes for the Cubs tomorrow.
Yeah, Ross, a rather anonymous all-star, but not in terms of his numbers. Maybe not a household name, but he has been terrific. Popped up, shallow right. Solarte will make the grab. 2 down. As Coughlin struck out his first time up. Kennedy went to La Quinta High School in Westminster, California. There have been some big leaguers.
Out of La Quinta?
Yeah, Ian Stewart. I think they were teammates. Former Cub. Brandon and Gerald Laird, Cole Garner, and Bobby Crosby.
Easy to give up on that backdoor breaking ball. Good tight spin. Had a good changeup tonight as well. Cole Garner, eh? Not familiar with Cole Garner. What do you play for?
2011 outfielder. 4 games with the Rockies. So you probably missed him. Playing in independent ball this year. He's not done yet.
Important for Rizzo to get a good secondary lead here, give himself a chance to score on an extra base hit. That'll be necessary.
Rivera still can't find it, and Rizzo thought about third, and best serve putting on the brakes, already in scoring position.
Yeah, you're tempted to go because you're looking in there and you see the catcher has no clue where the ball is, but what you don't know is when he's ultimately going to find it. And Rizzo's tempted, but Rivera does eyeball it, and Anthony made the right choice. So for the first time tonight, the Cubs have a man in scoring position.
Three and one to Coughlin. Two walks in the inning.
The first one, he wanted no part of Rizzo despite the lead and the favorable conditions with the wind. The second one, with a man in scoring position, he decided not to give in once behind. But it's a dangerous way to make a living when you have a 3-0 lead. Start pitching defensively. Little guy's putting a hit and run on right there. Did you see that?
Is that what that call is?
He's putting on the go ahead, hit one in the gap sign.
In there for strike one. Not a huge surprise to see Edinson Volquez on that list. Oh, Tim Lincecum, he got a save last night in extras. Driven deep to right. Francoeur is back. We are tied. A 3-run homer for Valbuena.
Sometimes this game makes you pay for your sins. Kennedy with the 3-run lead got a little defensive. Rizzo scared him out of the strike zone. Tentative with Coughlin with a man in scoring position, but 2 walks in advance of that swing of the bat. And we've got a tie ball game. Ford home run replay. Valbuena with number 6.
So they make Kennedy pay for his only 2 walks of the night. And Luis needed that. He had cooled off considerably. It's the 6th of the year. Now Scherholz. Foul tip, strike one. Back to even. Oh, 2. Proof you can hit the ball out of the ballpark on a night like this. You just can't hit it too high. You have to hit it in the right spot.
Yeah, and I think you had a much better chance to right than you do to left. At least the wind, the way the wind was blowing down the field before the game down during BP.
That one thumped foul to right.
Henley had done a nice job, has done a nice job keeping the ball in the ballpark this year. That's just the 11th home run he's allowed.
Padres injuries have been spread around, not just the position players. I mentioned all the infielders who are hurt. Their opening day starter, former Cub Andrew Cashner's on the shelf. Josh Johnson had to have Tommy John surgery. They might get something out of him when they brought him in here, but not this year. So Kennedy shaking his head in disgust. 2 walks and then the home run. Luis Valbuena has tied it at 3. Minnesota. But by big bats, Adam Dunn and Jose Abreu. The White Sox taking on the Twins tomorrow night at 7 on Comcast Sportsnet.
On Friday, Cubs take on the Cardinals. 3:05 first pitch. First 10,000 fans at the ballpark will receive a Jack Brickhouse bobblehead with a special sound clip of Jack's call of Ernie Banks' 500th home run. Presented by Advocate Healthcare. Tickets available at Cubs.com.
We are tied at 3. Luis Valbuena with a 3-run homer. White Sox dropped a 2-1 decision earlier today on the south side of town to the Kansas City Royals. Royals winners of 12 of 14 at U.S. Cellular Field. Solarte just abandoned the box as he took ball 2.
Maybe a big swing here. Nope. Can't find the zone. Wada in jeopardy of issuing a leadoff walk here after the Valbuena home run tied the ball game. Mercy of the count. Just start pumping fastballs over the heart of the plate. Couldn't do it. Sometimes that's the hardest one to throw in there. Solarte having a nice night in his Padre debut.
Been on all 3 times. Triple, single, walk, an RBI, and a run. So Wada back in it, tied at 3, but just walked the leadoff man here in the 5th.
Solarte not a base stealing threat, had none with the Yankees.
Well, I say a dangerous hitter at the plate in Carlos Quentin. If you've been watching the Padres a lot this year, you may say, what are you talking about? His batting average in the 170s, he's slugging .312. But that's a pretty small sample size. The volume of work says he's a dangerous hitter. And it's 2-0 on a dangerous hitter.
In the mid-70s, a spaceman Bill Lee said of the California Angels, they could take batting practice in the hotel lobby and not damage a chandelier. That's kind of what the Padres are all about this year. And to credit Dick Williams, who was managing the Angels prior to playing the Red Sox, a game that Lee was going to start, he told the guys, instead of coming to the ballpark, meet me in the hotel lobby. He was down there with wiffle balls and wiffle ball bats, and he started throwing BP. I think he got like a handful of pitches in before security said, no, this isn't going to work, fellas.
Oh, that's great. With 2-0 on the way, that one missed badly. 3-0.
Well, last I knew, Bill Lee was still pitching somewhere in some adult leagues.
In his, mid to late 60s? Three and one.
Pitching for the Expos, Bill Lee was known for leaving the ballpark on more than one occasion in his uniform. Sidle up next to some guy in a bar stool at some tavern. Got to make a pitch here. Uh-oh.
Ball 4. This has been the kids do not try this at home inning for Tsuyoshi Wada. Walked the first 2 guys just after his team tied the game. And here comes Chris Bosio along with the Cubs video coordinator Al Masamoto, who will translate.
Did not learn the lesson from Kennedy's travails in the bottom of the fourth. But this Padre team, Seth Smith leads them with 29 RBIs. He's on a pace to drive in 47. Can you imagine that? A team leader at the end of the season.
Well, you brought it up, and we asked Elias. In a non-strike season, I think this is the lowest leading RBI total in a Padre lineup this late in the season. Solarte came in with 31, but this is his Padres debut. Those were knocked in as a Yankee. But no, I can't even imagine.
I mean, this club, this current lineup, the guys that have been with the Padres, Rivera with 22 driven in leads this tonight's lineup. That's a good month for some guys. And I don't say that to pile on. It's just the nature of what's going on with this club this year. A bunch of guys, and any number of them that had good years last year, they're just scuffling this year. And unfortunately for Bud Black and the Padres, it's happened to so many of them all at the same time.
Well, they've got Wada up against the ropes here. He's looking for something good, like a ground ball, hit at somebody. That would help.
Yeah, they take Valbuena right to the bag. The one advantage Wada has is that, being a lefty, there's a lot of right-handed bats in the Padre lineup tonight, and it looks like it'd be much more difficult to hit the ball out of the ballpark to left field the way the wind is blowing.
There's a 1-1. It's
good pitch.
Close. Couldn't get the call, though. Todd Tichenor.
When you start to miss, it's tougher to get the borderline pitches called. Tichenor, for the most part tonight, has not given the low strike.
That is a fortunate turn of events for Wada. Should be 3-1. Then he got Medica to go out of the zone.
This is just, this is a scouting report pitch. This is confidence that Medica would chase, would be aggressive, looking for a fastball in that count. The key there is throw it close enough to get him to bite.
This is 2-2, and that one bounced foul. Well, we tend to say, and I'm as guilty of it as anybody, well, wind blowing in, be aggressive, go after them. But for the most part, pitchers are going to do what they do.
Yes.
They're just going to stick to their game plan. There may be a few veterans who are able to kind of adjust to the elements.
I think there's way more talk about pitching to the elements or pitching in certain situations than there is in reality. I think, guys, you tend to do what you do.
That's deep. Left center. Is it caught? That's in the ivy. It's caught in the ivy, and the Padres are just going to keep rounding the bases. Now Medica is going to be stopped at second. Alcantara got near it, but the ball went in the vines and got stuck there for an RBI double. So it's 4-3 Padres, and they have runners at second and third with nobody out. Let's see where this lands.
Alcantara leaves his feet a little early.
Ooh, it landed below his glove.
Yeah. He mistimes his jump here. Wasn't sure exactly where he was on the field. Wasn't sure if he was up against the wall or not. So that's a whole lot of woulda, shoulda, coulda there. He Another night, maybe he makes that play, but on another night, maybe that ball flies out of the ballpark.
So that will be it for the starter. It's going to be right-hander Brian Schlitter when we return.
Yeah, I'm sure Ricky Renteria thought he was going to get more out of Wada tonight than he did. The wheels coming off a little bit here in the fifth. Schlitter gets handed the ball, trying to slam the door here on the Padres with 2 men in scoring position. Nobody out. 2 and 3, 316 for Brian through 44 ball games. Wada left alone with his thoughts there to try to sort it all out. Brian has given up runs in each of his last 3 appearances.
Infield in about halfway against Francoeur. He takes a fastball inside. 1-0. Quinton is a runner at third, Medica at second. Because they pitch so well, when the Padres get to 4 runs, they usually win. 2-0. 30-5 when scoring at least 4 runs. Second best such record in Major League Baseball. The Nationals are 46-3.
Francoeur doesn't walk much. Strikes out a bunch.
Yeah, he likes to swing the bat, but Schlitter really didn't give him that opportunity. And that's the 3rd walk of the inning. Our AT&T U-verse multi-view. Too many Padres occupying the bases right now.
Bonifacio and Castro looking into the Cubs dugout for instructions. They're playing halfway. Rizzo's in tight at first. Bueno a little bit behind the bag at third. Middle infielders will have a play at home on a slowly hit ground ball. Sharply hit. They'll look to turn 2.
Wilson 9th overall pick in the 2004 draft, taken by the Rockies that year. Matt Bush actually was taken by the Padres, number 1. He has not been in the big leagues. That's low. I mean, that is a killer. And remember, he was taken.
Is he the first overall that year?
He was the first overall in 04 out of high school in San Diego. So he was a local kid. I mean, that is a killer. You get the first overall pick and it turns into nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And he's out of baseball.
And, so
he
that
converted to pitcher at one point.
The Astros this year had the number 1 overall pick, took the high school left-hander out of the San Diego area, Brady Aiken, failed to sign him. They'll get compensation in that they'll get the number 2 pick in next year's draft. I don't know that that compensation existed back when Bush was drafted. Of course, it wasn't a matter of failing to sign Bush.
No,
he signed a
player.
Yeah, so it's not even
explained out. Yeah.
It's apples and oranges. Battle of wills here. Nelson's trying to get the ball airborne, trying to stay inside the ball, keep those hands in. Middle other way approach where you're more likely to get the ball airborne. Schlitter, he's trying to pound that sinker in on his hands to get a ground ball.
It's going to be a fair ball. Throw to the plate, nicely done by Schlitter. They get the force out at home. Still a lot of work to do, but that's out number 1.
How about that play? There's been a couple nice plays by the Cubs pitchers tonight. Wada on the safety squeeze. Now Schlitter on this little tapper. The big guy showing some nice agility. Down to his knees. Boy, pretty play. Look at this. Looks like a third baseman. That could be a shampoo commercial. Look at the play and look at the lustrous hair.
Here's Rivera with the bases still loaded. Low, ball 1.
It's just envy on my part. Look at that, though. That's
that
beautiful.
Hair flowing, yeah. Got him by a hair.
Same approach here, trying to get that sinker in on the hands and get a ground ball.
I remember reading the story earlier this year about Matt Bush. He's in prison. So yeah, he is out of baseball.
That's tragic.
Yeah, it is.
Schlitter not only getting good movement, but he's throwing hard tonight. You see him at 95. July 22nd. Bundled up in the blankets here at Wrigley Field. This is kind of fun to watch because, you know, Rivera, his approach similar to Nelson's, trying to get the ball in the air. But at some point with 2 strikes, you can't be too discerning. And Schlitter, you know, a lot of times as a pitcher, you're trying to set somebody up. You know, you go in to go away. You go hard to go soft. He's not necessarily trying to trick him or fool him here. He's trying to induce contact. He's trying to get a ground ball with sinkers in on his hands. At least that has been his approach so far. Steele with a series of signs and then wants to rethink it. Rivera looks like he's cheated a little bit off the plate. He's starting to think, well, they're just going to commit to that sinker in, and looked to me like prior to that pitch he'd moved off home plate just a little bit, looking to spin on one of those sinkers.
Inside 3-2. Something's got to give. Bases loaded, and a payoff delivery, ball 4 to force in a run. The free pass, unfortunately, has been the storyline here in the 5th. That is the 4th walk of the inning.
Didn't hit his spot. Let's take a look at our pitch track, see where this pitch is. It's tough to get the call when the catcher has to move his glove that far. Certainly could have been called a strike.
5-3 now. Amarista 0-1. The kick, the pitch. Amarista stays alive.
Well, the other guy that has stayed alive is Ian Kennedy. For giving up the 3-run home run to Valbuena, his guys that come back scored 2. He's now on deck. He's been given new life. See how sharp he is in the bottom of the inning after this lengthy top half. Still have just 1 out.
They need 2 here. They will get 2. 6-4 to 3 to end the inning. And now a word from Selson Blue. Sunday here at Wrigley Field on Sunday, July 27th. It's coming up this weekend at 1:20. The Cubs host the Cardinals. The first 5,000 youngsters 13 and under get a Cubs Magic Baseball presented by Gonella. Then after the game, the first 1,000 kids get the chance to run the bases. For more info or to purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com. First 1,000 kids 13 and younger get to run the bases. So Kennedy now with a 2-run lead. He gave up a 3-run advantage in the 4th. His teammates got 2 runs on 1 hit in the top of this inning.
Wada allows 5 earned runs in 4+ innings. 4 walks. Really bit him.
Carlos Quentin is out of the game. Will Venable comes into play center in Quentin's spot in the lineup. Quentin was thrown out at the plate. Might there have been some sort of injury? Denorfia goes from center to left. We will find out. I imagine Bud Black would make this move for defense this early. Bounced foul. Low and in. 3-2.
Ryan Sweeney with the bat on deck will be next.
You are going to go chat with Pat on radio in the bottom of the 6th since you're singing the stretch. Slicing drive is going to land fair. Francoeur will pick it up. Throw to second, gets by. Castillo will hold there. I'll tell you, Francoeur had fielded that ball cleanly. He might have thrown him out. He has quite an arm out there and right.
Yeah, he hasn't lost a bit in terms of that throwing arm. It's always been one of the best in baseball since he came up with the Atlanta Braves. A little bobble and then a rocket to second base. Gets by Amarista, but no further advance for Castillo.
Yeah, so you're going to go over and chat with Pat on radio, and we thought we'd bring Ron Coomer over here for the bottom of the 6th just to mix it up.
Make sure I lock up all my stuff. Take my pens with me.
Runner at second, nobody out, and the pinch hitter Sweeney.
Another good swing by Wellington. He's shown signs of life in that bat in recent days. Got on that 3-2 fastball from Kennedy.
Look out, up and in.
Wondered how effective Kennedy would be after that lengthy top half of the inning. He fell behind Castillo, gave up the hit on a 3-2 fastball. Now ball 1 to Ryan Sweeney, who's a 206 hitter in the pinch.
Outside, 2-0.
Crazy game, isn't it? And the wind was howling out of here last night. The Cubs did their part offensively, but the Padres got shut out. Tonight, a tough run-scoring environment. 2 of the lowest run-scoring teams in baseball. We're 5-3 in the 5th, and indications are that there's more coming. Enough to make you scratch your chin and ponder.
Biggest issues, pitchers on both sides can't throw strikes. 3-0. The finals from earlier today. Rockies snapped a 7-game skid with a 6-4 win over the Nationals. Jorge De La Rosa, season high 11 strikeouts. We'll see the Rockies a lot over the next couple of weeks.
De La Rosa, a guy whose name you hear in trade speculation. He beat Steven Strasburg tonight.
Reds still haven't won since the All-Star break. 5-1 Milwaukee. Sweeney walks. Final up at Miller Park. Mark Reynolds with 2 homers. Nobody throwing in the Padre bullpen. This might be Bud Black just coming out and saying, look, got to get back in the strike zone here.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of that, and it's also a little bit of talking to his infielders about what they're going to do here. And with Bonifacio up and runners on first and second, how aggressively he wants them defending this bunt. He may be saying, look, Wellington Castillo, the catcher at second base, is not a real speedy guy. Let's be aggressive, trying to nail a lead runner there if he puts a bunt down. Or he might be saying, let's not get careless. Let's make sure we get an out. Not a given that Bonifacio is going to bunt here, but you have to prepare for it defensively.
Check by Kennedy, I think, was more to see if Bonifacio would show his hand, which he did not. There's the bunt. Pretty good one. Well, the first in time. Solarte covering. It'll go 1-4.
Pretty bunt. He slides that hand way up the barrel of the bat. Gives him great bat control. Kennedy had no play at third base. And you don't have a whole lot of time to think it over with Bonifacio going down the line. You see Rivera coming out pointing. Let's go ahead and make sure we get the out.
That is the grip by a very confident bunter. About as high as you'll see the hands go on the barrel. Alcantara with Nelson in on the grass at third.
Top hand down near the barrel, the bottom hand way up the bat handle.
Teammates call him Mendy. Strikeout and a ground out. Homered last night. And a 1-0. This is the outside corner. A lot of rain out east. The Yankees leading the Rangers in the fifth 2-1. But being delayed. Bottom of the fifth in that one. They're trying to resume here in the next few minutes.
Ambush him right here. Took it.
Pitcher strike. It's Dale Thayer. Three and one.
Bud Black only has one left-hander in his bullpen, Alex Torres. You hate to use that weapon this early in the ball game, and given the fact that Rizzo's been so good against lefties, it kind of nullifies that thinking anyway. But generally, you'd rather have a lefty out there against Anthony Rizzo, despite what the numbers say.
I want to see Torres in the game. He's wearing that new funky padded cap. Ball four. They're loaded. Wow. So that's 4 walks for Kennedy the last 2 innings. Cubs pitchers walked 4 in the top of the 5th inning.
Black letting his infielders know they're going to stay back and play for 2. Who would you rather have up in the National League right now than Anthony Rizzo? Maybe nobody.
Kennedy's going to go back, it looks like, to the windup. Pretty big moment here. 2-run ball game, but the base is full with 1 out. The pitch to Rizzo. Almost got by Rivera.
280 with the bases loaded. 7 out of 25. 1 long one.
Pitch number 80 from Kennedy. Fouled off. Castillo doubled to start the inning. Pinch hitter Sweeney walked. Facio with a sac bunt, and then the walk to Alcantara. 1-2.
Hasn't missed that pitch very often lately. Rizzo with an on-base plus slugging of .928. That is 5th best in the National League. Trails Tulowitzki, McCutchen, Goldschmidt, and Stanton.
Deep breath by Kennedy. Another 1-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. So 2 away.
Kennedy up against it with the bases loaded, and Rizzo up there goes to work. Misses badly with an inside fastball. Anthony had a pitch there, just fouled it off. And that was the one, that fastball middle in and down a little bit. Just couldn't quite square it up. And then a good runner to finish him off. That 93-mile-an-hour two-seam fastball.
See if Castro can pick him up here. He's 0 for 2. The 1-0 on the ground is short. Throw goes to second, close but out. Amarista beats Alcantara, and the Cubs leave him loaded. It's 5-3 San Diego.
Executive Club at Wrigley Field. Your guests will enjoy an all-inclusive top-shelf bar and gourmet food in this high-end space. Seventh inning stretch celebrities and former Cub players will stop by. For information, contact the Premier Sales team at 773-404-4200.
So, as we see Carlos Villanueva, third Cubs pitcher tonight, my peeps at the Chicago Theater tonight. First of 2 sold-out Jack White shows. They tell me Jack came out with his Cubs shirt on.
Sweet.
Tonight. The still shot from our look at the great rocker last night. The one where he kind of looks pensive, shall we say? That's making the rounds on the internet. The meme, right? Isn't that what they call it, where they put the different captions? Yeah. 1-0 on Ian Kennedy. There he is, right there. That look right there. He smiled.
Yeah, I know.
But nobody
That's the thing.
got the smile.
Yeah, anybody, you know, put a camera on a guy, you never know.
Pulled down the line, foul. And you're still trying to figure out who he is.
No, he's
you know who Jack was.
White Stripes.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, he's that guy.
Song. Yeah, Seven Nation Army. Three and one on the pitcher. The ball 4 virus has infected all these pitchers tonight.
Well, and you know, as I say often, not all walks are created equal. There are some walks that make sense. You're pitching around a dangerous hitter in a certain situation. Most of the walks tonight have been head scratchers. They've just been guys' inability to find the strike zone. And it hasn't been the most generous strike zone from Todd Titchener back there, but it's been mostly about pitchers just misfiring at inopportune times. Kennedy's case, it was with a 3-0 lead. Wada, after his team came back and tied it up, couldn't find the zone. Here, Carlos walks the pitcher leading off an inning.
We just got one of my favorite tweets of the year. David Woods, thank you for the tweet. And this is something you have mentioned in the past. Can Alcantara run through second base when the bases are full just to be safe, knowing he will overrun the bag but a run will score? Absolutely he can.
Saw it tried once. Brad Ausmus.
Called strike 3. So Denorfia has not put a ball in play tonight. He has walked twice and struck out twice. Yeah, so if he beats the throw to second and then gets tagged out after the runner from third crosses the plate, the Cubs would have gotten a run. I guess the reason he slides there is he thinks he can beat it by sliding. But
yeah, and it's one of those things where you know he's got to be a real heads-up player. And it's got to be, you know, it's such a high-risk move for a rookie to pull it off. Well, for anybody, like I said, I saw Brad Ausmus tried it, and I honestly can't remember whether he beat the play or not. Something you would expect maybe Cal Ripken to try. Guys that are always talking and thinking about the game.
Oh, I come up with all kinds of crazy ideas, and most of the time the coaching staff laughs and says, nah, not a good idea. But there are a few things. My contention is in a bit of a desperate situation with the bases loaded and an easy pop up on the infield, Right arm goes up by an umpire, meaning the batter is out. You let it drop and see if a runner panics and tries to advance a base. I think a lot of guys would forget the infield fly rule and think they have to run when the ball isn't caught.
Right, and there's no downside of not catching it.
The only downside is if the ball hits and gets away from you.
I'm talking about like a lazy pop-up in the middle of the diamond. Nobody's going to go anywhere.
Well, you have to make sure the other defenders know what you're doing so they don't panic. But yeah, a savvy defender, I think, could get a cheap out that way. And I think even guys who, quote, know the rule in that moment,
because somebody behaves differently. Somebody, all of a sudden you see that ball drop, and that's something nobody ever does. It causes you to pause and think, what just happened?
Runners can advance at their own risk. Once the right arm goes up, the batter's automatically out. So that's irrelevant at that point. Solarte pops it up. So no infield fly rule, only a runner at first. But right here, let's say bases loaded. Bonifacio could have let it hit his glove and then have it hit the dirt. Maybe the guy at third.
Yeah, but you can't fake catch. You know what I mean? You can't let it hit your glove and drop it.
Right. You got to let it drop.
Let it drop.
Right. Then they would say he caught it. You're right. Yep. Strike one on Will Venable.
Disappointing year for Venable. 22 home runs last year, 3 so far this year. He was their team MVP last year. He's on the cover of their press guide. Expected big things. Maybe there's a jinx like the Sports Illustrated jinx. Maybe there's a cover of the Padre media guide jinx.
Okay, now why couldn't you do the hit your glove and let it fall? The batter's already out.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
They wouldn't call it a dead ball, would they?
I don't know. I've read that somewhere in the rules. That if the umpires judge that you are intentionally dropping it, catching it, kind of.
Then what do? They say that you're out.
They record,
but you're already out. It's infield fly.
I don't know. Now you got me
I think that's
again.
more of a runner at first, where you purposely drop it. Larry Young's here. We'll ask him.
Yeah.
Two and two on Will Venable. Close, didn't get it. Feels like Todd Tichenor's decided nobody can throw strikes tonight, so I'm going to make you throw strikes.
I think it's one of those chicken and the egg things. Has his zone gotten tight? As the pitchers have misfired, he's starting to anticipate ball, and that happens. And umpire may go into the game thinking, I'm going to hunt strikes and be ready to call strikes, but when you misfire, it's sometimes tougher to do.
All right, you're heading over to radio. Enjoy the bottom of the sixth.
Touch my computer
with Pat Hughes. Okay. 5-3 Padres. How far apart Pat and JD are.
See,
much
no love
cozier
over
here.
there.
I'm going to drop a Spinal Tap line on you. Don't touch anything. Don't even look.
You mean like this?
At JD's stuff. How are you, Ron? Nobody can throw strikes all of a sudden. What's going on?
Yeah, it's been one of them games today where, for both teams, the walk has bitten both pitching staffs. For Kennedy, 2 walks and the home run to Villanueva, or to Valbuena. And then Cubs pitching here last couple innings have struggled throwing the ball over the plate.
Kennedy stays in. You know, JD mentioned last night, wind blowing straight out. Cubs got 6. Padres were shut out. It's been more of an offensive night tonight with the wind blowing in. But that tells you if pitchers execute, you can get people out. And if they don't, you've got a chance.
Yeah, this is one of those games to me. This series so far has been very Wrigley Fieldish, where you get one day where the wind's blowing out and everybody's swinging up and trying to elevate the baseball. Today it's a game of making sure you do the little things right, getting bunts down, stealing bases, playing small ball, and you get 1 home run.
Kennedy against Chris Coghlan.
So was your partner a little nervous? Now he's going to be singing the 7th inning stretch without you.
Without me for the first time. I kind of forced the issue a little bit. There was a cancellation tonight.
Something to do with it.
And Caitlin August from the Cubs marketing staff asked us to do it. I said, you know what? JD's going to do it tonight. I'll do it the next time. So we need to get him out there by himself.
There you go. He's got a tough act to follow, too, after Mark Grant yesterday.
He was great. And Eddie Vedder tomorrow night.
Yeah.
So he's the opening act. It's a 1-1 fouled off. How are you enjoying your first year in the Cubs radio booth?
I'm having a great time. It's great to be back home, first of all, in Chicago and back at Wrigley Field, where I grew up coming to ball games as a little kid, and you know, all of that, and being partnered with Pat on the radio side, and you know, getting to know you guys, and it's been a lot of fun.
Coghlan strikes out. Well, you have fit right in. And I'm sure, yeah, it does bring back a lot of memories for you, not only as a fan, but as a Cub player.
Oh, absolutely. It was exciting to get back here to play as Kennedy with that good knuckle curveball. He's got a sharp bender going down towards the dirt. When he throws strikes early in the count, he can really put you away.
Came in 3rd in the league in strikeouts. He's got 6 tonight. Valbuena with a game-tying 3-run homer his last time up, squared the bunt. And took ball 1. Let's check out our Xfinity high-speed action. Got a hanger, and he took advantage.
Yeah, he really did. And he hit that ball to straight right field. Is one of the only spots, really, that the ball's going to carry where it can get out of here today, with the wind blowing in as hard as it is.
The Cubs bullpen now will try to keep the Padres close. I mentioned this earlier. When the Padres score 4 runs, they're 30-5. Their pitching staff, especially their bullpen's been really good. Now, they traded Houston Street, their closer, last week. Still a very formidable bullpen.
They've got some guys that can come in. They kind of sling the ball up there. Good arms, throwing in the mid-90s.
Swing and a miss, 1-2. You dressed appropriately tonight. Are you wearing socks? That's the big question.
You know the answer to that. Come on now.
And you're okay?
I'm fine tonight. I actually put on a long sleeve shirt today, so I'm okay.
It's low on Valbuena. Now, you went back to the Twin Cities for the All-Star game. How was that? Home Run Derby, All-Star game?
It was outstanding. I thought the Twins and the Twin Cities did a great job of hosting. Mark Grant yelling at me across the booth. My old friend from Joliet, Illinois.
Venable back now, way in, and he's got it for out number 2.
Boy, the wind can really play havoc on these fly balls today. Infielders got to be aggressive going out, and outfielders got to make sure they don't drift on the ball. Kennedy's got good stuff. That 2-seam fastball just darted down.
Yeah, we play the AL Central next year, so I know you're going to look at that schedule the minute it comes out. And I would love to go back to Target Field. Man, we were there 3 years ago. It was beautiful. great downtown ballpark.
Yeah, it is. It's a great ballpark, great facility. And you're asking about the All-Star game. I thought Twin Cities did a very good job of hosting. The Twins did a great job. You know, in the All-Star game, you've been to them. They're just a lot of fun. It's a great representation of our game with the stars of the game, the stars that used to play the game. And it's just really fun.
2-0 now on Nate Scherholtz. Nice crowd tonight, 30,718. And for the most part, it looks like everybody prepared with the weather. A lot of tank tops and shorts last night. That was in the TV booth.
Boy, what a difference a day will make here in Chicago, isn't it? It's amazing.
89, I think, at game time yesterday, and 62 tonight. Kevin came prepared. The 3-0. He walked him. Wow, 5 walks now by Kennedy in the last 3 innings.
Boy, and you just don't see that. Usually he has better command. And Tishner's been a little tight behind home plate, too. He hasn't given that pitch down in the zone. He didn't give the pitch down to Wada earlier in the ball game. And this pitch by Kennedy, good movement on a fastball, but that pitch is wide.
So it's Castillo. As Kennedy nears 100 pitches. Ooh, broke his bat. Kennedy able to get out of the way as the ball ended up foul out of play.
Well, with those maple bats and they break like that, surprised more people haven't been hurt. The old ash bat, you know, it would break in half, but it wasn't that jagged edge that you see now.
MLB's done a good job of studying the issue and trying to identify the bats that are more susceptible.
Terrible sound for a hitter.
Pitch number 100 is a strike. 0-2. There's Junior Lake on deck. We're with Ron Coomer. JD went over to hang with Pat for a half inning. So we decided to steal Ron away. Enjoyed listening to you and Pat when we've had the rare day off. Another broken bat. Castillo hit it right back to the pitcher. And that will end the inning. All right, Coom. Make sure all the pins are in place. And always a pleasure.
Good to see you, buddy.
Thanks, Ronnie. That's Ron Coomer. JD's back with me in the 7th. 5-3 Pods. Cross Blue Shield get the recap on tonight's game and all the action around the league. Don't miss Cubs post game live right after our ball game on Comcast Sportsnet. And the Newborn Fan Club is the perfect gift to showcase what it means to be a Cub for life. Receive a customized photo announcing the birth on the Wrigley Field marquee, a Cubs birth certificate, Cubs baby stocking cap and a Cubs Rookie of the Year onesie. Perfect for parents and friends alike. Go to Cubs.com for more info and sign up today. Villanueva gets one more inning here. His spot due to lead off now the bottom of the 7th. Kind of weird. Castillo did not get out of the box. To dribbler back to the mound to end the bottom of the 6th.
And it happened so quickly. I was thinking, well, perhaps he was going to try to sell that the ball, was foul off his foot, right, and then realized that he wasn't really going to be able to sell it.
How was your radio adventure?
Well, it was quick. It was fun. It was nice. Just to chat with Pat a little bit. They were very welcoming over there. Bolte and Judd.
Did you pause between pitches?
We talked right through pitches.
Oh, you did? Different radio and television. Ronnie didn't take anything.
No, I noticed my highlighter's still here. Padres media guide. We're good.
Ball rifled into left by Medica. It's 2 out of 4 tonight. Brings up Francoeur, just up from AAA. We talking before the game just about the big picture stuff, you know. Or when Barney designated for assignment, we assume he'll end up with another big league team. Could be traded here in this 10-day window. Pretty confident he'll be with the big league club at some point soon. But just the idea of how long do you play if you end up being a quadruple A player like Jeff Francoeur has become? When do you hang it up? When do you decide enough's enough? How much do you love the game, and do you love it enough to spend much of the year at AAA like Francoeur did? He went to spring training with Cleveland, got released, hooked on with the Padres. Parts of 9 seasons in the big leagues. He's only 30, so he feels there's still a lot left to give a big league club.
Yeah, and obviously it would not be unprecedented if he were to reestablish himself and play another couple of years in the big leagues as a 4th or 5th outfielder.
I like what you said, just talking about embracing kind of the roller coaster nature of this life that is very temporary.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys that come to the big leagues and they're really, really good, and they stay here for a good long while and play 15, 18 years in the big leagues, but that's pretty rare. Most guys, it's a series of ups and downs. When you're in your prime, you feel like you're going to play forever, and then when you're past your prime, you start to slide down that hill. And for some guys, they hang on a little bit longer than others.
Francoeur's made a lot of money as he strikes out. Well over $25 million. So assuming he has saved his money, he should be financially set for life. But he's 30. So it's not as if he just wants to sit around and kick his feet up for the next hopefully 60, 70 years. He wants to play baseball.
Yeah. I mean, it's even at the AAA level, it can be a really fun gig. And guys down there, a guy like Francoeur, veteran guys, he can make a little bit of money.
Breaking ball, strike on Chris Nelson.
Yeah, it's always toughest the first time, and for Darwin, a kid who grew up in this organization, won a Gold Glove here, did some really nice things. That first time when the team you grow up with, when you're either released or traded away, that's a little tougher than other moves you may face in the future.
Sure, there's an investment emotionally.
Oh, his family, they've got every Cub hat, T-shirt, Christmas tree ornament. You know, your family becomes diehard fans of the organization and the team. They follow every game.
Off the plate outside.
Become part of the extended family. The wives grow very close.
Kick the pitch. Nelson went. That's a strikeout, 2 away.
Good hard slider here from Carlos. Well off the outside corner and down. Nelson commits early, can't hold up.
Ball to Rivera, misses. Makes this one to left. Coghlan is over and he makes a catch. Time for the 7th inning stretch with who is it now?
Who we got tonight? Football player, I think, right?
Let's go, JD.
Jim Deshays.
All right. Let me hear ya. A 1, a 2, a 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I ever get back. Oh, it's root for them. If they don't win, it's a shame. Or it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Let's get some runs.
I forgot where I was in the song. I was like singing along in church, and I thought, wait a minute. I already did that line.
Staying in tune is way overrated. You did it with a lot of energy. I loved it.
Thanks.
And Mark Grant gave you a thumbs up.
Well,
he's the master,
yeah,
so that's all that matters.
If you can't be good, you might as well be loud.
There's Nick Vincent. against Junior Lake. Pinch hitting for Villanueva.
A lot of sliders from Vincent. He's got a good one. Sweeping slider.
It's a shot of adrenaline, isn't it? You never quite get used to the tightrope. Lake sends one in the air to right. The wind's going to push this ball to the seats out of play. Now Kennedy survived 6 innings, 3 runs, minimum qualifications for a quality start. He walked 5.
Yeah, he'd only walked 37 in 129 innings coming into this ball game. There's Alex Torres, the lefty.
It's a new
padded hat.
Cap, yep. His Rays teammate Alex Cobb took a scary liner off his head last year. And Torres, the first to really jump into the deep end of the pool. I mean, a lot of guys, just won't wear it because it looks
funky looking.
Yes, and is it really about fashion? I think if it feels weird, that's one thing.
Yeah, if it affects the way you pitch, if it feels uncomfortable and feels a little wobbly, then
well, I applaud him.
Yeah, I do too.
Ryan Coor will handle this slicing drive. Whether the Cubs are home or on the road, guided tours of legendary Wrigley Field are available. Tours may include visits to the press box, clubhouses, dugouts, as well as a chance to actually step on the field. This must-see Chicago attraction houses 100 years of history. For game days and non-game day schedules, or to book your tour, visit Cubs.com/tours today. Josh tweeting. There's a little slash bunt. Barehanded play, and Bonifacio safe at first.
That's a play he's tried any number of times this year, and I'm not sure he's pulled it off up until this moment right here. But when executed, that little slug bunt out towards shortstop for a speedy guy like Bonifacio can be a good play. The Padre fans will remember Tony Fernandez switch hitting shortstop back in the day. He's very good at doing that.
Yeah, Josh tweeting, JD is the songbird of his generation. I like it. That'll be it for Vincent, and it will be the left-hander Torres as they'll turn around Alcantara. Tying run at the plate, bottom of the 7th, 5-3 San Diego. Deck, runner at first. 2-run ball game.
And so you turn Alcantara around and you have him in there for Rizzo as well. Torres working for the 45th time. 2.41 the ERA. He's pitched around some traffic. 22 walks plus 28 hits. That's a lot of base runners. But for the most part, prevent them from crossing home plate. Real good changeup. Complement a 92, 93 mile an hour heater. Look at that. That's tremendous action on his two-seam fastball. It really turns it over. Here's Bonifacio, laid down the sack bunt earlier. About a guy with some skills with the bat in his hand. Just a little push bunt and then the little slug bunt. You see how he slides that hand down the bat a little bit more, so he's got a little more to work with and punches that ball out toward shortstop.
The Isoblocks padded cap is what Torres is wearing. I got to look. Justin Grimm had one in his locker. It's definitely bigger, as you can see. It's the weight. That's the question for a lot of guys. And you see it kind of goes over his ears, so it's a different feel. And there are guys who just look at it and say, I'm not going to wear it. And others may have tried it and decided it didn't feel quite right just yet. 2-1.
So I don't know his story. Did he wear it in spring training? Or is this something he just kind of picked up?
I'm pretty sure every team got some, and so he may have just put it on and decided it fit. So I don't know that he wore it in spring training. I didn't see him wear it then. As I said, I think being a teammate of Cobb and seeing what happened to him last year, he did not see a downside in wearing it. That is a strike, even though it's dropped by Rivera. It might have been crossed up. 2-2. I mean, in some ways, I don't know 5 years down the road, JD, if everybody will be wearing this or something like it. But if it's the case, he is a pioneer.
Yeah.
Because somebody had to be the first guy to do it.
Somebody had to be the first guy to wear a glove, the first guy to wear shin guards and a catcher's mask.
Kick in the 2-2 misses inside. Long pause. Bonifacio not running, and a swing and a miss. Strike 3. That was the changeup.
It's a great one. Kind of like John Franco, the way he turns over the fastball and then comes back with his changeup. Doesn't have the Scrooge action on his changeup like Franco had, but a similar repertoire. See the circle change grip. Key to that pitch is starting it on the plate. If that ball's well off the outside corner, it's a much easier pitch for a hitter to recognize and lay off. I don't think there was a time when batters didn't wear helmets.
They had the inserts. And they wore the ear flapless helmets. And the ear flaps came into vogue. The flapless helmet wearers were grandfathered in. Times change. You may be sitting there going, well, if he gets one right back at his face, He could shatter his orbital or jaw, absolutely, but he's protecting the temple area. Not saying if he got hit up in the head, it wouldn't cause an injury, but trying to avoid the catastrophic type injury. I think a lot of guys won't consider wearing it because it might make them think about that possibility. And I know you've talked about just the idea of not even, it's not something you want to think about when you're trying to do this job. It's hard enough as it is.
Yeah, that's and clearly it doesn't affect him that way, but I can understand a player saying, I don't want to wear it because I just don't want to be focusing so much on comebackers and worrying about comebackers. But if you can wear this and protect yourself and not have to deal with that, and clearly that's what's going on with Torres, it's a plus.
He and Rivera talk things over. 3-0 on Rizzo with Castro on deck. Padres leading 5-3 here late.
I think when you go back in baseball to the era when they didn't wear helmets in the batter's box, that was the time when hitters were less inclined to dive. So hitters feel a little more comfortable with that helmet on and cover the outside part of the plate more than they did in that era.
Boy, Rizzo let it loose on 3-0. Speaking of headshots, that ball right into the mask of Rivera.
Anthony with a little wry smile. He knows he had to pitch it, and that's a 3-0 approach right there. Big weight shift, big leg kick. There's no intention of trying to hit a line drive and get a base hit. He's trying to hit that ball to the moon. Down on the back knee.
Three-one, low and away, ball 4. It's like double switch time. 13 walks already in this game. So Grandal will come in. Kevin Quackenbush will be the pitcher when we come back to Wrigley Field. And we'll go into the pitcher spot in the lineup, and Kevin Quackenbush. It's over on the mound. 2 on, 2 down for Starlin Castro.
Rookie right-hander has pitched to a 2.57 ERA, and you see good numbers. We're getting 170 against 29 strikeouts against just 8 walks. Made his major league debut back in April. Been up and down a couple times this year. Really been throwing the ball well of late.
Castro nothing out of 3 as he looks at a strike.
Fastball curve and a split finger pitch for Quackenbush.
Tigers adding to their bullpen. They have acquired Joakim Soria from the Texas Rangers for a couple of pitching prospects. That has not been confirmed, but being widely reported. One and one the count. Here comes the pitch.
Well, we'd love to have that one back.
That's high.
See where a hitter, after taking what appeared to be a pretty hittable pitch, might get a little jumpy and chase a bad one. Castro able to check his swing. Tough assignment. You get in these high leverage situations, facing a guy that I'm guessing Castro hasn't faced before. Perhaps saw him in that series in May.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Faced him once. 1-0 for 1.
And here we go. Selectively aggressive. Kind of been the mantra around here the last couple of years, and that's exactly what you're looking for here. Down a couple runs, extra base hit might tie the ball game. You don't want to chase a bad one.
Go the runners, a swing and a miss, and that will end the inning. We head off to the 8th. It's the Padres 5 and the Cubs 3. picture for a chance to have it appear in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by AT&T. A shot right out in front of the marquee.
Justin Grimm on for the 46th time. He's got 2 wins, 2 losses, and a 4.46 ERA. 8-9-1. Amarista, the 8-hole hitter to lead off. Grandal came into the double switch to catch. He'll bat 9th, and then Denorfi at the top.
There's Alexi Amarista. Are you following the Jose Canseco, Mark McGwire thing?
I saw a little bit about that today.
So Canseco basically trying to apologize to McGwire for writing about him in his 2005 book called Juiced. McGwire admitted that he used performance-enhancing drugs 5 years later. Essentially, McGwire has said, not interested. Quote, it's too late, he told ESPN Los Angeles. I don't care to ever speak to him again. What he did was wrong. Canseco won't stop, though.
Surprise.
He has tweeted and he spelled McGwire wrong. Mark McGwire, I know you're mad at me, but believe me, no one is more mad at me than myself for writing that book. What if he offered him some of the proceeds? There's a strike, 1 and 2.
And, I was reading, I don't know if it's the same story or similar story earlier, and I wasn't aware of this. Apparently, at some point a few years ago, Canseco showed up at a ballpark. Mark was the hitting coach with the Cardinals, I think, with a T-shirt on. It said, I'm
sorry.
I'm
Mark,
sorry.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Two and 2.
There's a heater right into your living room for you.
Now the other question is, should he be apologizing? You can apologize for maybe airing some inside dirty laundry, but there's a lot of stuff. I haven't read the book, but in some circles, Jose Canseco has been vindicated for being right on a lot of things.
Yeah, I think
the way you went about
tough.
it.
Yeah,
maybe the issue.
Yeah. I think if Canseco came out and said, I use PEDs, a lot of other individuals did, game needs to be cleaned up, maybe without naming names. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with you. Amarista walks.
I think what all of us around the game hoped at the time was that as this stuff started to leak out little by little, is that there would be this mass confession by players that would say, yeah, man, we messed up. We got caught up in this. We saw it as the next level of just trying to be better. We didn't think about all the consequences and the ramifications. And I think baseball and fans around baseball would have said, okay, and we would have been able to move on much more quickly than we have.
Yeah, it would have been disarming if everybody had done it kind of at once. You're right.
Unrealistic to expect that to happen, for sure. But I think what really rankled the public more than anything was the dishonesty, the lying, right?
Well, that's usually how these scandals go, right?
Yeah.
The original crime or whatever, unethical decision, however, go to politics and everything, but it's the lying and the
cover up
that ends up becoming the story more than anything else.
It's not the break-in, it's the cover up.
You knew where I was going.
Now, we've talked about this a couple of times now. Justin Grimm obviously has big-time stuff. Mid-90s fastball, good sharp breaking ball. He struggles with his command. And he may be a guy who might be better served to stretch out. And I don't know if that could happen this year or maybe next. But the repetition you get working as a starting pitcher, frequent innings back to back. Oh, he just got pinched there. Castillo came out of his crouch anticipating a possible stolen base by Amaristo. And that pitch looked to be in the strike zone. We'll take another peek at it here. Again, Tichenor has not called the borderline low one all night long. Has consistently been a ball tonight. But hard to fine-tune your game an inning at a time.
1-1. It sounds like at this point, if those discussions happen, it'll be in the offseason. But we will see. Here goes Amarista. Boy, a great read on it. Obviously, Amarista's got speed, but he's looking to run.
Yeah.
His first move is towards second, and I don't think enough guys do that.
No, you see a lot of times you'll see guys fooled by the pitch in the dirt. They're going back to the base too early, then the ball gets away, and it's too late to go. You have to take that secondary lead, be ready to advance.
Rays won again. They shut out the Cardinals 3-0.
7 in a row?
7 in a row. They're still 4 under 500. Alex Cobb, we mentioned him earlier. He struck out 10. Got his first major league hit. Knocked in a run. They're 25-11 over their last 36. 13-4 to start July. Amarista steals third. So after taking second on the wild pitch.
Well, he gets a huge jump. That's a high-risk play with nobody out in the inning and a left-handed batter. The catcher has a clear shot at third base, but Amarista trusting his jump. Swipes third base. Cubs fully infield in.
7th steal of the year.
That's one of those. You better make sure you make it.
And the 3-2 Grandal fouls.
Sometimes you get thrown out trying to steal, and it's very defendable. Well, yeah, it's a good idea, a good time to try it. But if you get caught trying to steal third base with nobody out and a left-handed batter in the box, that's one where you're not making eye contact with the manager on the way back.
Right. Ball 4. Jim Bouton's getting a lot of free publicity for his book tonight. Seth Smith.
Well, that's the other part of it too with Amarista gambling there. We get Justin on the mound having a hard time finding the strike zone. Don't want to do the Cubs any favors and run into an out.
Nobody up in the bullpen, so this is a strategic visit. Smith has been the Padres' most potent offensive player, but if you look at his career before this season, pinch hitting was kind of his big thing, and he's been one of the best. Has a highest slugging percentage ever as a pinch hitter with at least 150 plate appearances. 568. 318 batting average as a pinch hitter.
And he has been by far their best hitter this year. Just about everybody that plays regularly for the Padres a below average hitter of this year, but not Seth Smith. He's having a very nice year. And I imagine Ricky Renteria told Justin, hey man, trust your stuff.
Hey, one more note on the Rays. June 29th, they had the worst record in all of baseball. They have jumped over 11 teams since. And it's the 23rd of July. Less than a month.
So the David Price thing becomes very, very interesting because they could get a bundle for him if they move him before the trade deadline.
Well, could you get enough for him and get something back that could help you kind of now and later?
I don't know, but I think that if you trade Price, it's white flag stuff.
So the Padres add to their lead. Amarista is in. Seth Smith comes off the bench.
Yeah, as advertised. Walks, you kind of back yourself into a corner. You have to challenge, and unfortunately for Grimm, that point came with the Padres' best hitter in the batter's box.
Still nobody out. And the infield will come in. Corner guys were in. They were back up the middle for 2, but Cubs are down 3 late, so
yeah, you
got to cut off this run here. Take a chance.
Solarte, a guy who with the Yankees is willing to take a walk. Didn't strike out all that much.
Grimm off the mound, knocks it down, throw to first. He got him. Grandal holding at third. I think with 1 out he goes. Very conservative over there. So second and third, 1 away for Venable.
And, Justin Grimm, as he pursues this ball, has no idea what Grandal is doing there off of third base. So, his immediate thought is take a look there, and then he has to adjust and come back the other way to Bonifacio to get the out.
They will intentionally walk Venable, and that'll give us an opportunity to answer the question you asked before the game. Tamer Anderson, our associate producer, talked to Elias. So here's the answer. The last time a team in the majors had played 99 games with the team leader in RBIs having 31 or fewer, the 1968 Dodgers, Ron Fairley, Tom Haller, each had knocked in 26 after 99 games. So in the divisional era, it had not happened. Now,
and for the record, back to the year of the pitcher again. The Padres are performing like a team of that era.
For the record, Chase Headley had 32 RBIs before he was traded to the Yankees. But he's no longer on their roster. Since 1969, the only other team on July 23rd to have 32 or fewer RBIs was the 1976 Expos. So, yeah, this is not something you see very often.
No.
Bases loaded. Medica takes the breaking ball for a strike. Sixteen walks combined. Wada walked 4, Schlitter 2, Villanueva 1, Grimm now with 3. Kennedy walked 5, Torres had 1. Swing and a miss, 0-2. Padres have already thrown 124 pitches through 7. Cubs up over, I believe, 150 at this point. Off the end of the bat, little floater for a base hit. Everybody advances 1. It's 7-3. Medica with his 3rd consecutive hit.
That thing had all kinds of funky spin on it. That didn't look like a baseball. That looked like a shuttlecock out there, like he was playing badminton. That thing, the way it was twisting in the wind. It's hard to hit a ball with slice spin to the pull side like that, but that's exactly what he did. That's something like Phil Mickelson would pull off.
Francoeur with 3 on. Ball 1. And yet we talk about the futility of the Padres offense, and we sit here with 7 runs tonight.
Yeah, that's the walks when you got a team with, they don't have a lot of firepower, don't hit the ball out of the ballpark. They're dead last in the league in that as well. So you want to be aggressive against, but sometimes you don't want to be and able to execute. Doesn't always match up. And this has just been a tough night for the Cubs pitchers. They've walked 10 now.
This is the 7th time this year they've scored at least 7 runs. High in the air to deep left. Coughlin right at the edge of the track will make the catch. Smith tags. He'll trot home. It's now 8-3. Brings up Nelson, the 8th batter of the inning.
The tone was set early when Wada walked Denorfia to start the ball game.
When's the last time you played badminton, by the way?
I don't know.
It's a good reference.
Family picnic in the 3rd grade. I don't know.
I played it a lot as a kid, but I got really frustrated because that thing, the shuttlecock, was very hard to hit.
Yeah. And when you play outdoors and the wind blowing, it's really hard. It's big in Korea, right? Badminton.
Yeah, I've seen really good players play it on YouTube and stuff. It's pretty fun to watch. One and 2.
Be a good sport for a young ball player. Goof around with, a good eye-hand coordination.
One and 2. 2 outs, 3 in. hit hard on a hop, knocked down by Bonifacio, and he'll throw to first to get Nelson. Big inning for the Padres. They add 3 to their lead. It's now 8-3 in the 8th.
Favorite mobile phone or tablet. Get live look-ins, instant replay, score, stats, audio, free MLB.TV, game of the day, and more. Download on the App Store or visit Cubs.com.
Smith stays in the ball game and now plays left. The ball hit hard on a bounce to the shortstop, Marista. Comes Valbuena. The Cubs have 3 runs tonight, all because of his home run that tied it back in the 4th inning. Corey Furlong checking in via Twitter. If this game were a sick horse, I would have put it down after JD sang.
Did Corey Furlong just make a horse joke? Yeah, the singing kind of matches the pitching, doesn't it? It kind of synced up nicely here tonight.
Came prepared. It's chilly tonight. Line shot. Smith in left on the move. Has it.
Couple well struck balls, but 2 outs. Cubs 1 game below 500 here at Wrigley this year. changeup from Quackenbush. That's the thing. You got a last place club. You're in this rebuilding phase. You can just win your fair share at home. At least when the folks come out to the home games, they feel like you got a decent shot of winning. That helps.
Cardinals this weekend, Rockies next week, then back to the West at the Dodgers and the Rockies. Ooh, that ball kicked up on Medica, but he gets it to Quackenbush in plenty of time. Cubs go down in order in the 8th, off to the 9th. 8-3 San Diego.
Anthony Rizzo looked to make their mark. Coverage begins at 2:30 with Cubs pregame live, presented by Fields Auto Group. Cubs Cardinals Saturday, 2:30 on CSN. For the 9th, James Russell. He's on for the 40th time. Mostly good. ERA of 2.86. 28 innings, 22 punch-outs, 20 hits, 13 walks. Opponents hit 198 against Russell.
Rough 8 for Justin Grimm. He gave up 3 runs, 2 hits, 3 walks on 35 pitches. There's Brooks Conrad. Batting for Quackenbush.
Theo Epstein was asked before the ball game about the upcoming trade deadline, what his intentions were, and he didn't give a whole lot away. He said, well, we've made our big move. Great changeup.
Yeah.
I think his mindset is that they'll obviously listen, but they're not in a hurry to trade guys, especially players that they have under control beyond this year.
Popped him up. And to short right goes Bonifacio to make the catch.
Talk so much about the core, right?
Yep.
Rizzo and Castro and Castillo, and then these young kids that are on the way. Well, you need 25 guys to make a roster, and Theo's point is, we have some guys here that may be considered spare parts, but we like the way they play the game. They like what they bring to the clubhouse, and we're going to need guys like that moving forward. Even when all this wave of talent gets here, you're still going to need to support them with some veteran pieces. So while they try to identify the core, they're also trying to identify who those other pieces are that would be really good fits with those young players.
Marista turns on one, foul. Well, the 40-man roster too is it doesn't seem like a big deal, but it is. And if you clog it with only your top prospects, there's a point where you have the Rule 5 draft and you got to start hiding. These are things to take into consideration before you get to December.
You want to have some roster flexibility in the winter to add pieces.
Yeah. Bounce to the shortstop, Castro. Look, I understand the emotional tug for a fan. Let's see Bryant. Let's see Byatt. Let's get them here. They're ready. Let's let the kids go. But there's a plan in place. It's been in place since Theo and Jed and company got here. And they're sticking to it. And it sounds cold to say whether you like it or not, but we don't make those decisions. They're paid to make the cold, hard decisions without the emotion attached to it.
Well, and there's different levels of fans too. There are fans that pay attention to the minor league system and they read all the reviews and how good the Cubs farm system is. Recently ranked #1. But there are other fans that they really don't want to hear a whole lot about that. They just want the team on the major league level to win games, and I get that too. And have an encounter with one in Arizona when we were leaving the ballpark the other day. A Cub fan was there, all charged up, and big Cub fan, and he said, "Man, when are we going to get good?" And I said, "Hey, man, it's coming. We got some really good players on the way." And he was like, "I don't see any light at the end of the tunnel." And I go, "No, that's the thing. There is light at the end of the tunnel."
Well, wouldn't you say here over the last couple of weeks? I mean, Alcantara comes up. Kyle Hendricks is here. I think we're starting to see it.
Well, and then too, and you see Soler called up to AAA. You see Almora called up to AA. Now these kids are getting to the higher levels of the minor leagues, where, boom, they could be here in a matter of weeks. If the Cubs were in position to win and they needed one of those pieces, I don't think there'd be any hesitation. They thought Soler was ready to help, but team's not there yet.
Well, the other one is standing at first base, and I know a lot of Cub fans have really enjoyed watching what Anthony Rizzo has done this year, but I think we tend to focus on the last year. Gosh, he can't hit lefties, he can't hit with runners in scoring. He's doing those things this year. So if you were that guy last year, that person, that Cub fan getting frustrated every day, man, enjoy what he's done this year. Jake Arrieta, what a revelation he has been. Losing stinks. Nobody likes it. But it's not as if there's nothing to be excited about. That is certainly not the case. By the way, we just saw another walk.
Yeah, on what appeared to be a pretty good pitch. But a walk nonetheless. That's 11 for Cubs pitching tonight.
2-0. Called strike. I think the other thing to understand is what has happened in terms of the trades. That's not going to continue in perpetuity. And I think that some fans have this idea, well, any player who comes up and is good, they're going to trade him away. No. Look at the guys they've traded away. These are guys who are due for a big payday or late in their 20s, going into their 30s. The Cubs deals have all been older players for younger players. there's going to be a point, and it's not as far down the road as people think, when the trades the Cubs make will be for guys who are already established. They just haven't gotten to that point yet.
And that's part of the reason why
I saw a snarky tweet, you know, well, Rizzo's hitting home runs. Well, they'll just trade him. Yeah. No.
And that's part of the reason why you stockpile your minor league system, because you do have the resources at that point to make the deal that you need to make when it's go time.
See, and the other one is, you know, why did they trade Samar and Hamill when they were playing their best baseball? They were in last place, 8 games under 500. With those guys for the first half of the season. And I'm telling you, if they were 8 over and leading in the wild card, they would not have traded them. Three-2 on Smith. Hold on the ground to a backhanding Rizzo, which will take us to the bottom of the 9th. It's the Padres 8 and the Cubs 3. For San Diego as they try to even up this season series with the rubber game tomorrow night. Here's Dale Thayer. The facial hair parade continues for the Padres bullpen.
Saw Thayer last night. He's been good this year. The ERA just a skosh above 2.
There's Castillo to lead it off.
With a slider for strike 2. Wellington 1 out of 3 tonight with a double.
All right, in the vein of fairness, when we've been at other ballparks and we've heard the howling, I have been less than happy. I am disappointed. Did some Pirates and Reds fans get transported into Wrigley Field?
Like
because this cannot continue. Foul past third. I know a lot of fans say that we don't do the wave here at Wrigley. I think the next one should be we don't howl at Wrigley Field. That is not Wrigley Field like.
Stalker, we do not howl at chaos.
Swing and a miss, strike 3.
One more time, back to the slider he goes. Gets the swing and miss from Castillo. Rubber game coming our way tomorrow night. Edwin Jackson for the Cubs, Tyson Ross for the Padres.
John Baker with a ground ball. They are able to handle that throw. So Baker is out. He was pinch hitting for Russell. 2 away. Ball 1 on Bonifacio. Off of third and to the seats. They stopped.
Word got out.
Oh, yes. A fly to left. This will do it. Smith under it. And the Padres have even the set at a game apiece. Thayer goes 1, 2, 3 in the ninth. The final score, the Padres 8 and the Cubs 3. And our GMC professional grade player of the game. We're going to give it to the Padres offense. This is only the 6th time all year they've scored at least 8 runs, but they took advantage of some walks and one of their better offensive outputs of the season tonight.
Yeah, got the early jump on Yoshi Wada, and then they were able to play add-on through the middle innings, again taking advantage of a lot of errant pitches and then piling on in the 8th with 3 more off Justin Grimm to make it a fairly lopsided ball game.
So for JD, the singing analyst, and our entire crew, Kelly Kroll, our producer John Walsh, our director Dave Turner, Tamara Anderson, Mark Harper, Jim Corno Jr., and our CSN crew. Len Casper from the ballpark will have Saturday's Game 2, Cardinals and Cubs. Sellout crowd here at Wrigley Field should be fun. Coming up next, Blue Cross Blue Shield Cubs post-game live.